Okay, and the intros are now done.
Okay, I didn't realize they had changed this up. It's been a while since I've been in charge of the production stuff. Because, yeah, the old intros were like 45 seconds long. It was pretty ridiculous.
Oh, man, I think I forgot to switch my overlay over, actually. So I'm going to be using GameHard once again, guys. Actually, I don't think I've gotten this right a single time.
It's okay. That sounds, it sounds like you followed up in my footsteps, son.
All right.
Oh, I've still actually got the wrong UI that's got the messed up text too.
Oh god, the awkward three-person cast with intros.
No, see, this is unlike other times when I'm trying to give you guys the lead. I could take the lead on this, so I'll be like, spawning here in the top right corner of the map, he is playing for no one other than himself. Sponsored by Corsair, Asus, Cheers for Gaming, and I'm sure lots of fans. It's the Blue Protoss, Desrow. Out to you, Zombie Grub.
The bottom right as the red Zerg, it's KLG Jimrising. Of course, KS Latin Gamers. It sounds kind of like a radio station otherwise.
Actually, it does. This is KLG AM in the morning, here with Jimrising.
That sounds like, seriously, like a radio station and a personality host. Like, I'm just... Jimrising in the morning.
Well, actually,
if you 103.7.
Have any of you seen Jimrising stream before? Because it is actually kind of like that. He's got this setup that makes it look like he's on some sort of radio show.
I have not.
And he's got... Oh, then you need to, because he's also got the greatest, cheesiest sound effects you've ever heard of. Like, for everything. Like, when people donate, it's like a coin rattling in a can. Like, it's all sorts of cheesy things. It's awesome.
Oh, well, mine are the most awesome, so...
No, I disagree. Yours are the worst, and I wish you would change them.
Everyone agrees.
Okay, well, Desrow opening here with a Forge first, or well, actually, it looks like it's going to be Nexus first into Forge, but we talked and talked and talked this entire season of Copa America about how we always expect Desrow to play safe, how he'd never really be the guy to cheese, go for cannon rushes or 4 gates. But then he did, and he won the series so one-sidedly doing that. So I wonder if that's in the back of his mind at all for today.
Well, I think that's one of those things where it's because he's so wary about it. It's because he's built up that reputation where you think he's just going to play safe. No, he's just going to play safe. But if he tosses it out too often, then, I mean, it's kind of ruined, right? Do you think that Jimrising is the kind of player that Desrow feel like he has to pull out that kind of trump card in?
Maybe not right away, but after game 1, perhaps. I mean, it is a best of 5, so it's a bit of a longer series than normal. He's going to have a chance to see Jimrising's massive link spread, as Jim is more inclined to play late Hydra than, say, Roach Hydra, but that'll influence how Desrow plays in game 2 more so than game 1, I feel. Because you're going to react one way or the other, but you're not really coming into this game prepared for one particular thing. By the way, I don't know if you've fixed it, because I forgot to mention it when I was fixing it, but if you hit Control-Shift-C, it'll get rid of the name problems at the bottom.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think that's been a recent issue with GameHeart, but we're not going to have to worry about that next game.
Yeah, because we'll be using the ESL thing. But I was just going to say for you, sir, there is a new version of the GameHeart overlay out that fixes all that. So.
Ooh, I'm going to get on that. Huge shout out to Ryan Shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Shooter?
It is Shooter. Actually.
Shooter? I hardly know her.
It's not Shutter, is actually. I got corrected by him.
Man, I've been calling him Shutter this whole time. Actually,
I know.
I'm horrible. The first time I ever talked to him, I called him Stutter, I think, or Scutter. Something really horribly not correct at all.
Why were you calling someone by their last name anyways?
Because I was like, Mr. Shutter is in chat with us today.
Guys, wait a second. There's actually 2 gas geysers down for Jimrising, and he still hasn't taken a 3rd expansion. It's actually like 5 minutes.
So yeah, you were talking about like how like Jimrising is more likely to go for Lings and Ling Hydras, and I was like, well, what about his mutas?
That's true. We didn't really bring that up. In a map like Deadweight, you certainly have a lot of space to abuse and fly around.
Yeah, and these positions as well. I mean, they both know where each other are. Jimrising probably... I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't go for the strategy if it was cross-position, but I mean, this does really help him out. And of course, it's just plain a surprise. I mean, Desrow, he's going to scout. You know, eventually he's going to get maybe Hallucinated Phoenix or an Observer. But he's probably thinking, okay, this is a really safe map for me. I can get up to a 3rd before even really worrying about anything, you know, as long as it isn't a 6 pull, which he scouted wasn't. So, well, I guess this the Oracle with the Phoenix, whatever comes to the Stargate, might scout the potential Spire in time. Again, we're just guessing it's a Spire. I mean, if it's like a Nidus run, that'd be cool too. But.
Well, it does come down to the fact that 3rd base still isn't taken. Now, there's a good chance that Jim might have misunderstood everything and thought, oh, I'm playing against Desrow, the 4-gator. But I mean, I don't think Jim's that unprepared for today. I mean, the thing about Desrow, too, and this could play into his greatest weakness, is the fact that he does stream on a very regular basis. It would not be hard to scout builds.
This is actually going to be really weird, because if we do end up seeing that kind of Spire play, there is a Stargate on the way for Desrow. So he could theoretically, like, you don't even, if you're
Oh,
up
it's a
against-
Nidus worm.
Okay. I was gonna say,
So
like,
that's,
'cause we don't have the
Oh!
fourth gas geysers down
Jim!
yet.
Hold up, we didn't talk about this in the top 5 cheeses video. Jim was the guy who went for the 90s for massive slowlings. Now it's not
Oh,
slowlings in this instance.
Was that overgrowth?
Oh my god.
Right, but look at this.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Desrow doesn't see the southern half of his base right now.
Oh, you know what? I just love because like this and like heavy rain.
He's
Remember
putting
like
a pylon there. He's putting a pylon there.
But that doesn't necessarily solve this because the probes are so far
There
away. If you pull the
is-
probes to
a little bit of dead space if you wanted to. Really tried.
yeah, on the rightmost side, he's probably like if you're gonna try anyways, that's where you try. It is gonna come down. Nidus from
He's
ping.
setting a stalker there. He sees it.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
Desrow-
it's gonna fail. I mean, there is a possibility that you just make it in the front, or like, I mean, if they're
Uh-oh.
speedlings, then you just bust with the speedlings. It's
Uh-oh.
just
Am I lagging out? My game like died.
someone
that's
is
good.
lagging out, so maybe.
No, it was me, 100%. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah,
okay now.
Jimrising just gives up on the Nidus Worm thing, and he's gonna attack with the speedlings. So I don't
Barely
know.
on the front door though. Desrow's already running out a Void Ray. Like he's kind of set to deal with
Void
this.
Rays are okay. I mean, they're
Where's the
obviously
Oracle?
something to defend, but
Oracle's
I-
coming
Oh,
to the main
oh,
base.
Desrow makes a big
Wow!
mistake though.
What?
Sentry at the
What?
door. What? Oh, the Lings flooding into the main. There's
you know
so
what?
freaking
He
many of them.
probably
More than
was
flooding
not
in.
expecting lings. He thought it was gonna be
my
roaches.
God.
So like, last thing you'd expect is
Oh my
roaches
God.
coming so fast.
You get the force field off, and it traps the probes into the main. He's trying to
Oh.
save to the natural, so all of them are gonna die. Gee,
my God.
gee.
Oh, that
Hey
was.
guys, did I say Jimrising was gonna go Lings? I'm just checking because I'm pretty sure I said Jimrising was gonna go Lings. Like,
Wow. Okay. I also got to note that part of the reason why he also let those Zerglings in was that he was actually microing his Oracle. The Oracle was in the main base of the Zerg player, and actually like microing against the Queen, and it just lost all of its shields. He was like pulling it back, and then you look back and suddenly there's a million Zerglings in your base. That is the worst. That is actually the worst feeling.
If you expect something like that, you put your sentry in that gap. So at the very
Yeah.
least, you know, it's like I'm under attack, and you force out
position
the force field. But
Yeah,
like
where's
he
the
just, I
position?
really think he thought it was going to be roaches. You see a Nidus
Yeah.
Worm, last thing you're thinking, unless you know Jimrising, is that it's going to be a Ling Nidus Worm. He's like, otherwise, you know, why not just do the Ling all in at the front, which sometimes works. Yeah, so that was just, I mean, yes, that's one of those ones that Desir's probably like, that was dumb. Makes me mad.
it's one of those mistakes you don't make twice. That's for sure. I mean, because the worst thing too is like that ended the game. That wasn't like, oh, my economy went in the gutter. I tried to recover and had a long game. Like that was just over. He knew it. We knew it. But we'll see. Next map. I don't know if we're supposed to host. I can never remember how this works. It's always so awkward because we get yelled at half the time. But Overgrowth into Catalina, into Merry-Go-Round, into Nimbus are going to be the 4 maps following this up. Should this go to all 4 games? Desrow, by the way, is one of the people who is in a point contention slot to go to the finals in Peru. So I don't know if he has to win this season. I don't remember the conditions for it, but he's up in the top right now. But he can be knocked out if he goes down. I guess probably too early in the season, like here in the round of 8s. We're to consider that early in the season, but yeah. Gonna real ID off here since all the other casters are starting to get in the game.
Ooh, that was good. I really want more ice cream.
Me too. Yo, I've got a funny anecdote of a story. So I got one of those big iced teas that's got like the price on the thing. Like it says 99 cents, right?
Yeah.
It
was
only
it?
cost me 88. Thank you, Walmart. I got 4 of them because it was a deal.
So really, it cost
Fantastic.
90 cents.
That's actually
I like how-
that's a brilliant
'cause
marketing maneuver.
Yeah, this and the Arizona iced teas, they like price their or they print their price on the cans, and then it's really funny because you'll see pictures crop up on like Reddit and Imgur where like some I don't know, a store's trying to sell it for like $1, and they're like, hey, it's 99 cents. It's a bit frustrating. I don't know. Has America got rid of the penny yet? I know that we recently did in Canada.
No, that's why I made the joke.
Oh,
So
the
that
90
penny kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
you
Us
know
poor
what?
Canadians, we couldn't. Our coin pouches were bursting at the seams. We had
If
to
you
get
Oh
don't-
my
something.
god.
If you don't have pennies, then how are you a penny pincher?
Well, that's a good question. You have to be really good at it, I guess.
Huh.
But yeah, we're in the lobby for Overgrowth. All the players are here. We're just waiting on them to be ready, and we should rock and roll. Again, poor Desrow after that game cannot be too happy because that's one of those things too where you're just like, you know, it was a dumb loss. There's no analyzing like, oh, I could have done this composition better or not. You just like, you got to suck it up and move on to the next game and play better.
Yeah. Luckily, it is a best of 5 though, right? So
Yeah, lots of matches. Lots of matches. But there's that countdown and the awkwardly short, I guess, map intros now. When did they change those, by the way? Because I know at the start of season 3 they were still really long.
It happens. I think actually it was. It may have been like one of the days that Zombie Grub and I was casting, or maybe it was Tempo and I. I think it was like one of those days, and I was really caught off guard by it. But Overgrowth is going to be the map, and I'm actually interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this map. But we'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we're going to be spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map on top of the red Zerg player representing Chaos Latin Gamers. It is Jimrising.
You know what we should do, Zombie Go? Like one of those dumb, like, you say every second word thing. So we try and do like a story for the intro.
This intro is going to take like 3 minutes then.
So spawning!
Nope.
In the top right corner of the map, playing for Aces, Corsair, Cheers for Gaming. It's going to be the Blue Protest player, Desrow. You know, Fear Dragon would totally play this game with me. You suck.
Yeah, but Fear Dragon won't get the whole, you know... I mean...
the appeal of just, like, shutting me down? Because it's kind of... That's like Zombie Grub's branding right now. Like, shuts Rifkin down.
It's going to be shut you down anything that can be used as, like, you know, fuel to the fire. Like, oh, look how cute these guys are. Shut up.
Oh, no, I didn't think that'd be like one of those. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
It's like one of those stupid answer machine messages. Like,
exactly.
I thought that's what you were going for, man.
Exactly. I'm just like, no. No, thank you, sir.
I was just trying to have fun with the intro. So, whatever, guys. Innocence here. It's like the rock, paper, scissors thing. I didn't even think it was bad until
like,
you freaked out
I actually,
about
like,
it.
I hate how people, like, it's more like really awkward siblings, right? It's like Ross and, Monica, where, like, they do stupid shit like that. Like, they everyone dance together. Oh, that's what I imagine it as.
Well, Fear Dragon, you want to hear our thoughts on the map, but I'm going to turn this around on you, flip the script, and I want to hear your thoughts on the map. What do you think is going to happen this game?
Well, I'm going to do a double mind game and say I don't care. There's actually a gas geyser going down from Jimrising, and I actually want to hear your guys' thoughts. Okay, no, I'm not actually going to do that. No, but like on this map, I feel like the third expansion is not too bad to take. But what I'm really interested to see is whether or not Jimrising goes for a similar Zergling intensive build again, because he already has the gas geyser down. He's going to be able to get up a very fast Zergling speed, and I honestly don't know. Like, I could very well see him do something kind of cheesy or wonky again.
Well, I am actually curious to see if he will go for cheesy or wonkiness. But the thing is, too, this matchup, you know, we're so used to seeing that fast speed in like ZVT, you get the 6-minute speed, you gotta deal with the Reaper, but this matchup actually sometimes has builds that incorporate no speed whatsoever. But Jimrising, not really being the king of roaches, I'm pretty sure is gonna dedicate to these. Now, I really hope, and I doubt Jimrising is this naive, going like, hey, Speedlings won game 1, why can't they win game 2? Like, he's got to recognize that was a good chunk of luck and just bad paying attention at it.
You gotta do something different, right? If you're gonna do something crazy, do something different at least.
Well, he actually pulls off the gas, so he's going to be dedicating to trying to get that drone count up after this. We'll see if he stops droning into lings. I mean, he's going to probably have like anywhere between 2 and 6. You just want roaming around the map, getting the watchtowers, picking up probes and pylons. But yeah, taking off that gas, I imagine he's going to go for that third.
Only 2 Zerglings made so far, so it's going to be a little bit hard to make a whole lot of damage. I really like that some of the Zerg players that will make 6 Zerglings rather than just 2 at the beginning, because if your opponent is kind of like what Desrow's doing right now, he only just has the Mothership Core and like a Zealot to defend, you can actually get into the base and be really annoying, but actually, I guess you could do it with 2 Zerglings too.
No Stalker coming out the quick did kind of lead into this. I mean, he's following up with a Sentry, which you want. You know, the sooner you get the Sentry out, the faster it'll get the energy up.
Kills a probe.
Yeah.
That actually just validates 2 Zerglings. 2 Zerglings for a probe.
If this was Hearthstone, we would call that value.
We call it even trade, right? 15
I don't know.
I think you call it filthy casual. Shut up.
Hey, this is...
Wow.
We can't do that here. This is the Blizzard channel, remember? We love Blizzard in every game they play, and there's no difference of player.
Love that Blizzard, you know, helps the casuals.
No, but all jokes aside, it is kind of cool. We've seen Copa America. That's what you're on the English cast, sadly, because América and I have had a very busy schedule. But they've been doing things like Heroes of the Storm show matches and whatnot. So definitely working to promote their other games while doing Copa America. But these two lings, they're not going to die this time. Move over here to the left, and while Jimrising not exactly speeding towards a lair, so no fear for a Nidus worm.
No speeding towards the lair. All right.
Okay, I'll just let. Thanks, Rifkin. Good to have you here on the cast.
I heard that you did the same thing about me, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, I absolutely abuse whenever you're not around and enjoy every second of it.
Yeah, someone let that slip, so.
Oh, that really hidden pertinent information. I can't believe somebody.
That's like on VODs and stuff. Oh god.
Actually, have you gotten around to seeing the picture I've been using for when you're not on the cast?
I'm pretty sure you showed me. I said it wasn't that good.
I don't remember. I just put like hashtag no passion on it though. I mean, it looks so fancy. I put so much effort into it.
You don't understand, guys. Rifkin has apologized for like, starting that joke, and he's like, I should really not do it anymore. And then he does this shit. So
yeah, you're just like, I can't help it. It's right there.
It's pretty annoying, not gonna lie.
I'm
But
sorry.
anywho, there's a lot of sentries out in this, and that just probably means that he's gonna, well, did you guys actually see all the?
There's actually a Twilight Council out for Desrow, and he's
Yeah.
off the Overlords and like all the scouting over the third expansion. He's gonna take it. I was thinking there's like a small chance that maybe he'll just go for a push out or something, because he also was chrono boosting his pulse on weapons.
There's a little bit of like, maybe Jimrising was tricked. He didn't see the fourth gas. But usually where the robo is exactly where Desrow puts it for an Immortal Sentry all-in. And he saw that wasn't there, I'm pretty sure, before the Overlord died, so...
Yeah.
So, side note here, I'm just going off of Twitch chat feedback. I'm not sure what's going on for you, Dragon, because you sound perfectly fine in my ear, but apparently you're quiet for the stream.
Yeah, I'm I'm actually solving the problem indirectly by turning you guys down over time until people just stop telling me that I'm really quiet.
Okay, cool. So just keep leaving feedback, guys. Seriously, it'll help. It will help. It's best we don't get to game 9 in like a second best of 5 type thing, and it's like, oh, we finally fixed it.
I mean, with stream delay, yeah, it'll take about 40-50 minutes, so.
Yo, did that not see us? Oh my god, that didn't see us. The fire did it.
So the Spire, the Spire's interesting, but Desrow, he's going for like standard opener here, right? Like Blink with plus weapon upgrades. So even if it is like a crazy transition, it's something he may just be able to handle.
It's not that crazy. It's not cray, but I think, yeah, that's definitely true. It's just like, you do that scout because you want to see what they're doing. Like, and the fact that you just don't see it, oh, well, actually, wow, these roaches getting in here.
I would call that a good scout for,
what the heck?
Rising right now. Like, he's gonna move in.
Desrow, I'm just sitting here like force fields, please, bro. Like, you gotta make it to the finals of Copa America.
Every sentry is at front. They're so snipeable. Why didn't you? Oh my god, that would have been.
Yeah, let's get some probes for this. Desrow is definitely floundering. He's trying to keep, I think, an eye on the third to make sure nothing else comes in because of what happened last game. But, boy, he's racking up the work he kills right now.
Jimrising, make the mutas. If this was happening and the mutas were like at the third, that would have been the absolute best. But unfortunately, a little late on it.
I mean, Desrow does only have one cannon, so even these speedlings might be.
Yeah, so I think he saw the mutas. He saw something. He just put down a fleet beacon.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, we did see the Spire. Okay.
The Zerglings are now at the third. They're going to take out this cannon. The entire army is still behind the natural expansion wall, and it's going to take forever for them to get there. So many of those probes just went down, I think.
Yeah, like
Desrow?
Well, no. I don't think
No, he's actually kept them alive for good stacking, and there's the Zealots that were soaking those hits. But Desrow knows the Phoenixes were going to be necessary. He starts a fleet beacon immediately and that second Stargate. So he's going to have the potential to have the Onion Pulse Crystals to be able to dance with the Mutalisks. But the problem is, it's not the Mutas that have given him any point of trouble on his game. It's everything else. The Roaches, the Lings. I mean, he's only going to see the Mutas for the first time. I almost wonder if this is an overreaction.
Well, I don't know. Seeing this for Jimrising, though, I mean, he's either got to like this, he's got to choose right now: go into Corruptor Muta or like transition into Swarm Host or something.
Yeah, well, he's actually. I was wondering if he was going to cancel and change that tech path, but he's going to catch the sentries off guard. That's going to be painful for Desrow.
He has Blink. There we go. This was on cooldown, but he loses
Yeah, but-
all the sentries, and all the sentries die for the Lings. Oh,
And if there's no force fields, there's nothing to keep the stalkers safe from the Lings, and this is just compiling on itself very quickly. The Immortal helping out here on the ground, but the Mutalisks, I was afraid this would not be something that would pay off in the end, but it's working out fantastic.
Yeah, well, just simply the fact that these, again, like you brought it up, like the mutas really weren't that scary part. It was the Lings that were the scary part. The fact that they brought them back and forth, so the sentries are never in actually very good position. I mean, if you know mutas are on the way, you're gonna think like, okay, just put a Zealot at the natural, take care of that. You know, maybe my Phoenixes go to the main, and then my entire army should be at the third. Well, the entire army was like running around, so the force fields are never in a very good position if he was able to even lay them down.
Oh man, well that went. This seems to be the case of these games so far. Just like nothing into sudden. Oh my god, like
Yeah.
this roaches getting through that wall.
Well, nothing happened. Okay, GG.
Well, I think Jim
I mean, okay,
Rising's,
so
like, I don't know. He's just like showing some really good aggression, and I don't know if it's just because sometimes players like they're normally on point, but just you have off days, and I almost feel like this is just one of those off days for Desrow, right? Because he's losing in ways that I think he, like a player of his caliber, normally wouldn't. If you've seen Desrow play before, he can play really damn solid. I think last season he got to the semifinals versus Major. Like, you don't get to the semifinals versus Major without having some pretty solid play.
Well, I think one of the big things here, right, and this kind of goes back to the whole maybe having an off day thing, is it takes, okay, the Zealot's not going to stop that many roaches, but it gives the attack warning, you're under attack, and then Desrow responds, but we noticed the response was really late. I mean, those sentries got up to the top of the ramp late and then sat there doing nothing. Not that it would have helped much, but even force fields, something, anything. And things just compiled very quickly off that. But Desrow is rebooting his PC, guys, so we're just going to have a moment or two of downtime here while he gets back online. Unless he's got one of those sick SSDs. Oh my god.
The SSDs make everything so much smoother. But
yeah, I was watching a video on YouTube. A guy like rebooted his computer, just snapped his fingers.
Have you gotten an SSD yet?
Yeah, I gotta. Mine's not the primary boot drive though. I gotta go change that. So like the one I'm using, I'm just using it for like I've got it installed, but it's like StarCraft and games.
Oh,
but I think I'm gonna swap it over to be like my Windows boot drive, and then put the StarCraft games on
use
it.
it for all your map intros and stuff. That's the trick, man. Use it for all your
Man,
videos.
I think there's something with XSplit for that. My map intros, I was looking at it. I've never once seen them lag on XSplit, but for some reason they do on the stream. So I'm wondering if there's like an encoding error that comes down from using an MP4 or not. I gotta look into that because it is problematic.
That is interesting. But Catalina is going to be the next map. We've talked a lot about the maps already. I don't know, Zombie Grove, what do you think about Catalina? PvZ.
I
like sushi.
All right.
Actually, I don't have like it's like not like Deadwing where it's just like really obvious what we should talk about. Catalina, I mean, it's third. It's not that hard to take. Well, I guess depending on which third you get. It definitely would play itself to mutas again if that is going to be his choice. I mean, there's a lot of dead space everywhere. It's like merry-go-round except with like tons more dead space. And yeah, that's I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
I feel like you're like, oh, why are they asking me this question? This is so weird. Like, what are your thoughts?
It is really weird. I don't think I've ever been asked like, what are your thoughts about Catalina?
Well, I think that's because Rifkin hates this map with.
Yeah, it's always like like, oh, I hate this map. Like that's all I'm gonna focus on.
Okay, in fairness, yes. But also, Fear Dragon's like the only guy who asks questions like this, I find. And I've got no problems with that. I don't want to make any misunderstandings here. But we don't cast with anybody else who like asks
make sure
questions.
You post on Reddit how much Rifkin hates me.
It's mostly like Fear Dragon asks like right now, where usually like I would start talking about it if I saw what they were doing, I guess. Because it's like if Desrow goes for a third base, then maybe you talk about like, oh, he took the one to the right, so it's a good force loop position. If you took the one that's like, good concave, well then maybe it is a Ling Hydra. So I don't know. It's like it's a lot more to explain than Deadwing, where Deadwing's like, well, if they get a fast third, then it's safe. Like that's like very obvious. But in Catalina, it's like, well, there's some dead space, so like mutas are kind of good. And it's like a concave third, and there's
that's
a
actually
choke
totally
third.
fair. I'm asking you kind of like without having the map in front of us to like look at it and kind of dissect.
Yeah, I guess like the biggest thing is like it's not like more about them. It's like just like Jimrising is such in control of this game. It's like however he wants to play it, right? So like we talked about Deadwing being a fast third, and then it didn't even like freaking matter, right? So It's like all about the Jimrising and the player.
Actually, you know what? I will actually counter what you just said and say, like, I think it did matter because I think that may have given Desrow also, like, a slight sense of security. Because, again, like, that was a really, really aggressive opening from Jimrising. I think that it was because of that Desrow wasn't necessarily expecting the big Zergling run by, right? And even when he saw the Nidus, he was thinking, like, maybe it's roaches or something. Actually, I don't know. It's all weird. But we're going to go into the head and jump into the map intros, guys. Don't go anywhere. Alright, we are back, and spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, who is it, Zombie Grove?
It's Desrow! Hey.
And spawning in the right-hand side, or left-hand side of the map, who is it, Rifkin?
Oh, it's Jimrising!
Oh my
I was
God,
waiting for my
what's
cool
this
toss
move?
out. You were all like, all right, Zombie Grub, who we got over here? And I'm like, all right, he's got me next. He's got me next. And you just left me hanging. So I was like, no,
I was expecting you to just pick up, man.
it's this guy over here. But yeah, Jimrising, okay, let's talk about this for a moment. Like, we talk about the map, we talk about strategy, but the reality is it's 2-0 in a best of 5. He's one game away from winning already, and I think Huck versus Sheep haven't even finished their first game yet. I mean, this has not been a great series for Desrow. And we did talk about maybe it's his off day. I mean, I really don't want to get too negative on the guy, but he has been making some very, dare I phrase it like this, basic mistakes. Yeah, uncharacteristic mistakes, things that you would expect Desrow not to do. I mean, letting the Lings run by, okay, accidental, and the Roaches run by, WTF, because this is Desrow, the guy we saw, as you pointed out, gets second place last season Copa America, that he's just been a good North American player, period. These minor mistakes for anybody else, you might shrug it off and be like, oh, well, he's not that good. But it's Desrow. These are actually kind of monumental mistakes for someone who is at his level of play. So I'm not trying to be overly critical and shut him down, but the reality is, like, these are mistakes that need to be rectified because him of all people should not be making them.
And I think it's actually really important to note that he had a little bit of time. We kind of talked about how Desrow took a little bit of time. He restarted his computer and everything. Sometimes just having that extra, like, couple of minutes to kind of take a deep breath and say, like, okay, just whatever I'm doing wrong, I just need to get over it right now, and kind of have that moment of silence to yourself to kind of figure out what you need to do and just execute it. So hopefully this is going to be his opportunity. Hopefully he's kind of had a little bit of that time to think, and we'll have to see what he kind of throws out. But honestly, I think, again, almost every single one of these games, it hasn't been Desrow deciding how the game is going to go. It's kind of just been him saying, how well can I adapt to what Jimrising is going to do?
Right. Well, I think one of the things I am looking at Desrow is, like, he gets this probe over here pretty quick to the third. Sees no fast third. You're going to be looking for this timing. Like, you don't have to be in the base scouting the gases if you see a hatchery come down at, like, 5-4 minute mark. But Jimrising very comfortable playing off of 2 bases. We've seen not once but twice.
Well, Desrow did scout the gas, so he knows that it will be speedling expand, and I mean, besides telling him, like, the third's gonna be a little bit later and that, economy's gonna be a little bit worse, just tells him, like, you can't really push out unless you're willing to use recall. Because, losing a Zealot really isn't that big of a deal. Losing a Stalker, should he get it, that's kind of a big deal. But of course, Desrow's been going for a follow-up sentry in, I think, the last 2 games. They've been so fast, but definitely that last game. And I was wondering if he was going to change it up by doing something really quick, right? So he has this probe out in the field, and, like, sure, it could have been checking just for a third, but I don't know, like, it's like gut feeling. It seemed like he was going to try and hide it for something. And he does open up with a Stargate, which, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean anything unless he adds 2, 3, 6 gateways to it, which, of course, Jimrising won't want to see with this Ling should it survive.
Well, I think the Stargate's I like this choice, actually, because you've got, of course, the fact that it's Catalan, and there's a lot of dead space around these mains. Your Oracle should and could live for days, at least until Mutalisks come into play. Yeah.
I really wonder if Desrow's going to be doing something different. I mean, the Stargate was a lot earlier than last game, so I mean, he's definitely going to use it to try and, like, do something. Where the last game, it seemed like, I mean, when it came up with an Oracle first, right? No, wait, that was the first game.
Yeah, he came out Oracle first in on Overgrowth also.
Okay, yeah, I was just like, okay, so yeah, both. All right, but it's Phoenixes automatically here. We have to really pay attention to how he uses them. Oh, never mind. He throws on a Twilight Council. Just kidding. Never mind. I was going to talk about the all-in, but with the Twilight Council down too, I don't think it's going to be the case.
Yeah, we actually already had, because of that early Stargate, Jimrising actually immediately scouted out with that Zergling, and it's evident by the fact that he already has some Spore Caller down in his main base. Hasn't actually decided to take a third yet, and it's starting to get pretty late.
Yeah, well, he got this really early lair, right? And he has 4 gases, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with fast mutas. The thing is that did he decide that before he saw the Stargate? Maybe we weren't, really seeing the timing on that. I mean, I feel like it was after because that slow lane got in there.
Caller so early though.
Yeah, and the slow lane got in there so early too. I feel like he did. Okay, so it is. I guess it's making up for the. Okay, Hydralisk then.
Oh. Desrow, your probe was so close to scouting the third. Okay.
Oh, it didn't?
No, it just moved away, just barely when the third went down.
That's weird.
He's got to have an idea. He's got to have some sort of idea. I mean, Pilot does come up here in the top left, or top right-ish, whatever, top middle,
Okay,
and as probe comes back, he'll see it this time. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you haven't still taken a third at this point, and like, you are going Phoenixes or something, or sorry, not Phoenixes, rather Hydralisk or something, you're not gonna be able to afford, like, okay, great, you'll have Hydralisk, but you'll have like 7 of them, right? Ooh. The Phoenixes work here in a decent manner. He's gonna go for drone kills first. Not a horrible choice by any means, but not gonna be able to pick up those Hydras and go for that one shot. So that's gonna be a little bit sucky, I guess. But Dark Shrine is the follow-up.
It's a really awkward timing though. For like the Phoenixes usually come out of are already out in the group of 5 by the time like Hydra's really get in the field. I mean, Jimrising went 2 base Hydra and then a 3rd base. Like it's not that common of a build for sure. And the Dark Shrine follow-up is odd. I mean, you don't have any tech to deal with a Hydra attack except maybe a bunch of force fields. But that in itself is a lot of gas, so like how many Dark Shrines are you going to be able to put down?
I'm going to be entirely honest, I see this Dark Shrine kind of move from Protoss players a lot actually, and I never understand it. It always seems like so hit or miss, because it's like you don't have tech, so if your opponent just has stuff ready to deal with like the DTs at home, like there's a Spore Caller is made because of the Phoenix.
Right, we're focusing heavily on the Spore Callers, but let's not forget, with the Phoenixes in play, he's probably going to snipe off like the 1 or 2 Overseers out there, so offensive Hydralisk suddenly get shut down, defensive DTs become phenomenal. I mean, it's a maybe situation, of course, but I'm just saying, like, there's more to it than just simply running to your opponent's mineral line.
Yeah, but that's really what you want to do, though. Like, no one gets defensive, like, only defensive DTs.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Of course, the other option is, the Hydras are going to be offensive, so that means that there's something to attack. You have detection, but there's a 1 queen, so like, is that a big deal? Not really. Especially if he's going to, warp in all 3 DTs at the 3rd, and that's the only place he has a proxy pylon.
Yo, just the way you phrase that, I'm sitting here thinking of the Hydra's like, I hate Peru. Copa America sucks. Like really offensive Hydralisks. Like,
oh, I was like, what?
I was like, what are you talking about right now?
Yeah, I get it.
Ooh, Zergling actually gets into the main base for Jimrising. He is actually gonna probably see that Dark Shrine.
No way! Oh, good.
Well, I don't know what he's doing. So
sorry, I'm just hyping up the Link Scout, man. Hype.
Anyways, this 4th is put down right next to the DT. I mean, really surprisingly, Desrow, well, obviously now it's scouted, so like now would be a wrong time to warp in 3 DTs, but not really doing anything. This Lucid Phoenix is actually what's coming in here. The 1 DT maybe will get a cancel on this 4th, but it's like not attacking it. I don't know if it's gonna have time to do so.
I think he might be waiting for it to finish so that it can't just be canceled and remade. He wants to actually just get the kill off on it.
That is banking a lot on the idea that they did not get an Overseer. I mean, portable detection.
I mean, but think about it. If you warp in like 2 or 3 DTs, honestly, I think, especially on this map, like you could actually have a really good chance of killing it, but even before units get there. Because that's true. He's moving the DT around. He's clearly aware of the 4th.
2 to 3 DTs for sure, you know, if he had warped in, but obviously not the case. He just runs. All right.
I like the warp prism, but I am a little bit curious about this fleet beacon follow up here.
He's really afraid of mutas. I mean, I think you can say
here we go. Indian pulse crystals. There's like nothing to indicate this.
Listening to Todd, I finally think I understand a little bit more about the Protoss mindset, where it's just like, it's like, freaking mutas. You're a muta player, aren't you?
Oh, you've been
it's
playing.
Like accusatory.
And you've been playing Protoss also.
I mean, I'm not really a Protoss though, you know?
I know.
So like, I'm not accusing like Muta players, but like you hear Todd, and it is like a sin, you know? Like, oh, a Muta player. So I think that's just the paranoia. Now he's also moving out here with quite a sizable force, honestly. But Jimrising, you know, I mean, I guess he was like banking up a lot, so he just makes a bunch of roaches, and well, suddenly his army gets pretty damn big. In fact, 30 supply over.
We got a good fight coming down. I got something really awesome from chat I want to read out afterwards. But as the Stalkers come in, the force fields do keep a lot of those Hydras back initially. The problem is he was like one force field shy of sealing them out. So getting more involved with the fight, the Phoenix is coming in to start graviton beaming some of these Hydras, but
yeah,
it's not going to be enough.
Just complete swamp. Wow.
He should recall with what little he's got left, I think. Otherwise, he's going to lose the Mothership Core for free. And this could be Desrow's life on the line here, guys. Remember, he's down 2 at this point. If he loses his army, he loses the game. His army supply is just non-existent. And while he's warping some DTs into Jimrising's main, like, this was the worst bait of all time.
Well...
This is gonna be really awkward. Okay, here's the... Let's look on the bright side. He basically had a pure gateway army, for units.
But
so he didn't actually lose any Colossus or Templars, I suppose?
No, the real bright side here.
No, but when you... It's not a bright side, though, at all, because the thing is, when you do go massive Blink Stalkers, the only thing that wins the fight is the fact that you have the massive amount of Blink Stalkers.
I feel
so even though he didn't lose Devastate... Like, what did he lose there? 20. That's a huge blow. For someone who's supposed to be able to keep us alive forever, just blinking back, constantly retaining their health one at a time, he's not going to have that for the fight with the Hydras. Even if he gets +3 weapon upgrades, which he's on the way for, he's never going to have the numbers unless for some reason Jimrising pushes into like the worst choke and the horrible force fields.
Okay, I don't know about Fear Dragon, but I feel like my sarcastic tone just went way over your head. I was just like, yeah, that's the real silver lining here, and you were like, no, but it's not.
Okay, whatever. The thing I was going to bring up beforehand, though, this is because we've been getting a lot of chat feedback. We know Fear Dragon's voice is a little low, guys. We're constantly trying to adjust it.
Gradually turning your guys down.
But well, you should probably just put us to half or something, dude. But the greatest thing I've read as the fight begins was like, you need to speak like a man. Like, speak up and speak like a man. With some confidence, Fear Dragon.
Oh, God.
Desrow, no!
I cannot believe it was a 3-0. I mean,
I believe that he won, but I can't believe it was a 3-0. That blows me away.